This is On the Tee with H&B, and we are delighted to be back with you as the 2019 golf travel season kicks into high gear. Today we're coming to you from County Limerick and the Adare Manor Resort. Adare Manor recently emerged from a 22-month restoration which both spared no expense and left no stone unturned in the process. At the PGA Merchandise Show in Orlando, I sat down with Andy McMahon, Director of Golf Operations, to learn a little about that restoration, what the H&B forces can expect during their visit, and what the future holds for this award-winning resort. We hope you enjoy the listen. Well, Andy, thank you for taking the time, and appreciate you joining us today, day one of the PGA Merchandise Show. And tell us, start with yourself. Tell us a little about yourself and how you came to Adare Manor.
Yeah, so I started as an assistant professional up in Glasgow at a private members club, and then I spent 12 years with Troon Golf at the Grove in London. Huge corporate facility, a 5-star hotel resort, and I got a phone call to discuss a project in Ireland. And after coming over, seeing the property, seeing the golf course, and the enormous changes that were taking place, it was an absolute no-brainer to move over and hopefully create something spectacular as an experience on top of what is a fantastic property.
So you touched on the transformation, if you will, that's taken place. Tell us a little about that.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a fantastic property before. It was a 5-star hotel, resort, golf course. It hosted Irish Opens. It was a championship golf course. It was designed by Robert Trent Jones. It was very impressive. Through time, Mr. McMahon bought the property, and in roughly a couple of years, the entire place has been transformed. So, if we start on the hotel side, when I first went to the Manor House, everything had been stripped out: the windows, the services, the fixtures, the fittings. But the restoration is incredible. The detail that's went into it, the glass, the stained glass, keeping so many of the original features, but has elevated it to a whole new level. So something that really probably is unrivaled in the UK and Ireland. Then onto the golf course. The golf course, when I came over, they were still seeding greens and still shaping and different things. The golf course had about 300,000 tonnes of sand put on it to sand cap it. The golf course always had a reputation of being a little wet, given the Irish climate, and they wanted to make sure they had firm, fast playing conditions all year round. They employed Tom Fazio, Fazio Design, to come over and redesign the golf course. Very much in keeping with the original layout. So the first tee is still roughly where the first tee is, and the first green is roughly. So the flow of the golf course has stayed the same, but no hole has remained untouched. We have changed the grass to ryegrass on our fairways and our tees. We have A4 bent grass on the approaches, and the latest pure distinction bent grass on the greens to give us the purest playing surfaces that we can achieve. Tournament ready, 7,500 yards off the back tees. So a challenge for the recreational golfer because there's no rough. From going and playing the links where you're maybe going to come over to Ireland to play obviously the famous rugged links, you could lose a few golf balls out there. At our golf course, really, unless you hit it in the water, we'd be very surprised if you ever lost a golf ball. The rough is maintained, is cut. It's more Augusta National than it is Ballybunion. It's much more the manicuring, the detailing, the conditioning is what really sets us apart.
Touch a little on the service, because you nailed on kind of everything about the physical aspects, if you will, of the property, but touch on the service and what someone can expect when they come to Adare Manor.
Yeah, I mean, we have a huge staff. It's a gated complex, so there's from the minute you arrive, the gate concierge will meet and greet you. We have just under 500 staff in a 104-bedroom hotel and golf resort. We have lots of different activities on there, so from falconry to the horse and hound welcome. We have a shooting range on site. So we've got a lot of activities out with out with the golf course. But the key thing for us is the attention to detail and our guest recognition. Being not a Vegas hotel of thousands of rooms, we really want to make sure that everyone's experience is personalised, customised, and we've done the thinking for you. We're ready for you. We know who you are. We know who your guests are, and you can really just come and enjoy the experience. So, from our golf standpoint, from the minute your car or your bus arrives, our guest service team are there. They're looking after the bags, they're looking after the carts, they're looking after the caddies. We have a mandatory caddy policy at Adare Manor. We're doing the introductions to your caddies, so no stone is left unturned in your experience, and we aim to make it flow seamlessly.
Back to the course itself a little bit. Talk about some highlights along the way. First-time visitor, obviously we're kind of all first-time visitors at this point. What are the moments that you look for along the way that are memorable?
There's a few touch points. For me, from the minute you arrive and you see the Manor House, you see the Manor House from so many holes in the golf course now. Before, it was pretty obscured, the way the golf course and the trees, etc. You can now see the Manor House from so many more vantage points. I think when you stand on the 8th tee and you're shooting straight up towards the Manor, and your caddy says to you, your line is on that spire on the Manor House, I think that's quite a wow factor. It's just such a beautiful building, and they've used that natural scenery along with the conditioning. Probably from most of our guests, the 13th hole was our favourite hole from a lot of visitors. It was very picturesque, a sweeping left to right dogleg, tree lined left, right and back, and they've just elevated it further. It's now just a golf hole. It would be, and lots of people's favourite 18. You know, it's not the most challenging. It's just one of the really beautiful golf holes you'll play. And then you come on to probably our hole we were most famous for was our 18th. Our 18th is a par 5, water running all down the left-hand side of the fairway, but it actually cuts across the front of the green. So a huge risk or reward hole. Very much from speaking to the Fazio team and Tom Marzov, etc. The key is they want to encourage you to go over in 2. There's about 100 yards of A4 bent grass cut to 4.8 mils. So it's putting green standard approach grass. We want you to try and get over in 2. So it's a risk or reward. It lets you shoot up the green, but if you decide to play safe, you've got an 85-yard chip shot to a very narrow green. And we've seen this year by looking at the scores that have came in from our members and from our visitors. It's definitely a card breaker, but it has as many highs as it has lows. So.
Well, it's a dramatic finish and one that seems destined for a bigger stage. Talk a little about the tournaments that's heading to Adare in 2020, and maybe a certain event that people are talking about beyond.
Yeah, so we have Mr. McMahon has his JP Pro-Am 2020. I think last time it was hosted, we had 17 of the top 20 in the world attend. That's names like Tiger, Rory, Justin Thomas. It's an incredible event, a charity event where we actually, your attendance is with a cap, so it's a flat cap as your ticket. They've started to sell already, but it's such a huge charity event. It's a huge thing for Ireland, it's a huge thing for the area. It's going to be incredible to see how these pros perform. We were lucky, we've had, when we opened, we had Rory, Padraig Harrington, Shane Lowry and Paul McGinley play an exhibition match. And it was fantastic to see them play that golf course and to see, as I say, even more of the best players of the world come and experience that in a very relaxed atmosphere. It should be pretty impressive. Regards to other tournaments that maybe in the future, we'll wait and see. We've created the best product that we think we can achieve. We think we would be a tournament-ready golf course for events of any size, but it's out of our hands. We'll have to wait and see.
We'll wait and see, no doubt. Well, so the last question, we do a lot of these interviews this week at the show, and the question we're asking everyone to cap this week: the Open Championship comes back to Ireland. Who do you think takes the claret jug from home from Portrush?
Oh, it'd be fantastic if it was if the Irish contingent were in contention. Obviously, great to see Shane this week do so well. Obviously, great to see Rory returning to some of the form that we know everyone knows he's capable of. Listen, it's going to be great if you think of the ticket sales and the attendances. I would hope for Rory. I would hope for Rory, unless a home winner would just about cap it off, I think.
No doubt about it. But Andy, thank you very much. Appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks a lot.
And a special thanks once again to Andy McMahon for joining us at the PGA show, and we're looking forward to plenty of golf in the good life at Adare Manor in the years to come. If you'd like to keep up with Adare Manor, we suggest giving both the golf club and hotel a follow on their social media channels. That's going to do it for this week's episode. We'll have another one here for you soon, but until then, we wish you plenty of golf at its finest and life at its best.